And that'll do it.
All right. Hey, let's welcome to the show because I have lots of questions. President Daniel Coleman from Birmingham-Southern College. I didn't think we'd be doing this again. I figured we'd talked about this enough already. But here you are. Thanks for being here.
Well, thank you guys for having me. It's great to be back. On the one hand, on the other hand, I agree. I didn't think we'd be back.
Which is on different circumstances.
Yeah. So to catch everyone up, and if you correct anything I say that's not right, but basically we talked about how Birmingham-Southern needed to fundraise and get some money in, and the legislature passed a bill that allowed for a loan for you guys. The governor signed it. It looked like all was good to go, and now for some reason, Young Boozer has decided not to approve the loan. So one person has kind of shut this whole thing down, and really you just found out by not a certified letter, but just a letter that came in the regular mail this past Wednesday that he was not going to approve it. Did it explain why he wasn't going to approve the loan?
Yeah, let me, I'll take a step back and then I'll explain what he said, and I'll go to both of the points he made. First, this bill was passed unanimously by the state Senate and a 2/3 majority by the House, and then signed by the governor on June 16th. The treasurer had all the information he needed by June 16th. And shortly after that, he sent the bill to the Attorney General to be reviewed, which on average takes about 97 days. The Attorney General, correctly, I think, and everyone I talked to said he would say this, says we don't review bills for constitutionality. That's not our job. We defend the laws of the state of Alabama. And so when he requested publicly for an answer in August, I believe, from the Attorney General turned around and said, we don't do that. And so that wasted really 2 solid months, and the application wasn't up till the 3rd week of August. And so then we started talking, but he already had all the information. And we went back and forth a lot, and realized about 10 days ago things were not progressing like I would like. And on Wednesday morning, I received a letter in normal post, not certified, saying we'd been denied the loan. Now, the 2 reasons he gave both refer to the bill. Reason number 1, he said that he didn't have first position in the collateral assets. That means he didn't have the first lien, for example, on the collateral we posted, and I'll talk about that. And the second, he said he didn't believe our turnaround plan, didn't think we could pay the loan back. So the first point, this is what we offered him as collateral. For the first draw of the loan, $16 million, we offered the main part of our campus, which appraises at $75 million. That's about a 4.6 ratio to the loan. It's not a liquid asset, but that's a huge ratio for any loan. For the second draw, which would happen next year, we figured out a way where we could post U.S. Treasuries as collateral for $9 million, and then the following year, $5 million. Anyone in banking knows, and I spent 31 years in it, U.S. Treasuries are the best collateral in the world, and everyone would take U.S. Treasuries as collateral. The treasurer seems to think that he has a right to have assets, all of our assets, when in reality the bill says our collateral assets, he gets first position, and we were offering first position in very good assets on very good ratios. So that, I think anyone with a financial background would see that wasn't right. The second one was our restructuring plan. He said he didn't think we'd pay it back. He didn't give any reasons. He said we're distressed. Well, of course we're distressed. That's why we went to
why this whole thing happened.
Yeah. But we do show the way the loan's structured. We start paying it back in 2029, and our debt service, which is the amount we pay back, would be about the same what it is today. And one would argue we'll be in much better shape than we are today, so we'd definitely be able to service this debt and pay it off over the remaining 15 years. And as far as how things are going, our applications are up about 60% year over year and up about 100% over the average of the last 6 years. I'm not 100% sure why, but I think we're front of mind to people, and they're looking at us and they're saying, hey, that's a college I may want to go to. That college is a little different. It may be for me. So with respect to turning around enrollment, the way things are trending, we would expect a first-year class to be 3 times what it was last year. Now, this will be a bump in the road, and we have to figure this out. But I think the restructuring plan is very valid, and I think it demonstrates pretty clearly that we can pay back the loan. So those are the 2 reasons.
So where do we go from here? It doesn't make sense to me that one person can unilaterally just squash this entire thing. Can the governor override him? Where should we be focusing our energy?
Well, he has some discretion in the bill, but the discretion as to whether we meet the prerequisites of the bill, and we do meet them. So
Right.
He doesn't have complete discretion. He doesn't have the right to veto the bill. Only the governor has that, and she didn't. She signed it. And if she had, there would be an opportunity to override it. So it's clearly, from my point of view, an exercise in power that's not his.
And it said in the bill that he may approve the loan, and that's kind of what the court now is looking at is, well, they didn't put he shall, right? They put the word may, but still hoping that the judge in this case sees this and rules in your favor.
Yeah, I think he may approve the loan, but also describes what it would be required to approve the loan. It doesn't give him discretion to say that we don't meet things when we do. He doesn't have that discretion. And so the whole point was he was to administer the loan. And I think if you were to talk to legislators who were involved in putting together this law, they were all shocked by this.
Kind of feels like his role should be more, oh gosh, what's the word? I just had the word, but should be more just not, he shouldn't have discretion as these kinds of decisions. It should be more formalities, right?
Right.
He should just be going through the motions of approving and signing, and
He's just making sure that you meet the requirements for the loan.
Right.
And if you do, that should be it.
I agree, and then he has to administer it because he has to watch and see if we pay it back and so on. But yeah, it's an administrative role from my point of view. The money is already allocated; it's $30 million sitting there, and he makes the argument. He may make the argument he has to me that he's protecting taxpayer dollars. The college has about $100 million economic impact every year. We're responsible for about $13 million in city, county, and state taxes every year. In 3 years' time, our taxes will make up for the $30 million alone. So from that point of view, it really isn't protecting the taxpayer of this state.
One part of the complaint that troubled me was that he said multiple times to you that he had issues with the executives or some of the executives at Service First Bank. Now that's when you start thinking, well, is this personal?
I don't know what his motivations are. Service First is our lender, and they've been reasonably flexible with us. We wouldn't be able to offer things like the campus without Service First releasing it. We've worked with Service First to potentially write down a portion of the loan. But so I just don't know what the treasurer's motivations were, but we did put it in there because I do think it matters. From my point of view, what Service First does doesn't matter to the state as long as the state gets the collateral it needs.
yeah, I'm telling you, the whole thing is a bit confusing, to be honest. And I know it's frustrating and confusing for you as well. So now action points. What can we do? Because their time is running out on this. I mean, something has to happen pretty soon. Is there something our listeners and we can do to maybe get this ball rolling a little bit? Or are we just kind of waiting on the judge to rule?
No. The judge is just part of the plan. And I would suggest the following. I think this is one person doing things to not just Birmingham-Southern, but to Birmingham. We're an important part of this community. The West Side is looking at about $280 million of investment between Smithfield, between the trail, the Civil Rights Trail, to investments in Rickwood, to other things. For this to really work, we need to be a revitalized college, and we're on our way there, but we need to be that. So for the treasurer to do this, he's not just doing this to us, he's doing it to Birmingham. So I would say the following. We need to go to our representatives, our senators. First of all, thank them for supporting us because they did. But second of all, demand that we stand up to the treasurer in however way we can, make sure he knows this is not acceptable. And I think we need to reach out to the governor's office and make sure she knows, and of course reach out to the treasurer and everyone in the treasurer's office. Phone calls are better than letters because we don't have a lot of time. Phone calls are better than letters because people can hear your voice and how strongly you feel. But we need that help. This is a broad campaign. Litigation's just part of it. We believe he needs to come back to the table and execute the law.
I spoke to former Attorney General Baxley about how does it help change your mind when people write in, whatever, and he said the biggest thing were phone calls. He said if he gets 500 emails that look like they're copy and pasted and whatever, that wouldn't really have much of an effect on him. But if he got 3 or 4 phone calls from people, that would have a huge effect on him. So take that for what it's worth. Daniel Coleman, thank you so much for being here, and fingers crossed, but we are optimistic still because it is so important, and I think that the right decision will be made in this. But thanks for all the hard work that you're putting into this over there at Birmingham-Southern, and next time we have you on, it'll be like a party and there'll be balloons and confetti.
I thought you were going to come on this week. I was going to ask you to come on this week and talk about the public campaign because y'all just launched that.
That's right.
And it's like, wait a minute.
We launched it Saturday, and we got the letter Wednesday. We have $45 million pledged, and we really want to get back to focusing on that.
All right. Well, we will be there for you however we can be. Birmingham-Southern College, I'd be doing this if my son wasn't in school there. That's the thing. People are like, well, you're emotionally invested in it. Yes, I am. But guess what? My kid can go play soccer and go to school somewhere else if he has to. He doesn't want to because he loves Birmingham-Southern. Birmingham-Southern has always been a part of my life and of Birmingham. I mean, it is a big part of Birmingham. And for anyone to say it's not, well, you're just not paying attention. So we appreciate you, and we appreciate the college, and we will do whatever we can to help move this thing forward.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate being on.
No problem. Stick around. We still got a busy final hour here on the Morning Blend with Reg and Will. We'll take a little break and be back with the Killers, Your Side of Town, in just a second on the Morning Blend with Reg and Will on Birmingham Mountain Radio.